I've been talking to graphs like they talk back, whispering sweet nothings to the green and the black. Turned off red receipts and empathy both. I schedule my breakdowns between open and close. I ghosted my friends for a gut feeling. Skipped dinner for data and emotional peeling. Used to be funny, now I just pace. Used to make plans, now I stare into space. And every hour's just a bet I made. Every smile's a trade I delayed. I used to call my mom, now I just call it noise in the price action. I've got 10 unread messages and one open tab. I lost love somewhere between good risk and bad. I don't pray, I refresh, don't feel just obsessed. They say get some rest, like I haven't tried. Close your eyes to see the void inside. There's rot in my fridge and my soul's out of sync. I've been drinking my coffee like it's gonna fix me. I tell myself I'll stop when I break even, but I redraw the lines every damn season. I missed a wedding for a signal, I missed a funeral for a spike. I call it passion when it's panic, and discipline when I self-sabotage right. I've got guilt dressed in logic and hope on a spreadsheet. I'm not lonely, I'm just too committed to compete. I've got 5 unread voicemails and no idea who. I burn every bridge for a chance at something new. Don't blink, don't break, don't breathe, don't ache. They said you're obsessed, I said not yet. It's not a loss if I haven't closed it yet. I built a routine out of rituals and caffeine, paced out my sanity in perfect symmetry. They said I'd change, but I think I just got more accurate. I've got no one left to check in on me, but I check the charts like they hold my body heat. No wins, no friends, no plans, no end, but hey, the trend is still intact. Just one more, just one more, till I'm flat.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Monday, July the 7th. And I'm being told from my producer that legally I should say, Taylor Swift, please don't sue us. It's a joke. If you really want the money from this stream, you can have it. We would just prefer to not get sued to Kingdom Come by a multi-billionaire controller of the world. It's a joke. It's a laugh. Please, Taylor, don't take this personally. I'll teach you how to trade options, I guess. I don't know. Just don't sue us. We don't need to be sued. What's more concerning is that 83% of you said you would smash. 82%. 82% of you, 83%. You guys are already pushing it back down to 80. Now, nope. Now we're now at 81. You guys are dropping. Then 4 out of 5 of you are saying you would date me if I looked like the Taylor Swift version of me, if I was Taylor Kohrs. That's you guys should think about that. You guys should really deeply reflect on how you cast that vote. That's yeah, that's something I think you guys need to talk to your therapist about it. All right, amending the poll. What are the numbers at? All right, so 100 of you voted. 75 of you said you would. 25 of you said you wouldn't. Wow, Jesus, you guys. I know I have problems for sure, but I think you guys might actually have more problems. So that's interesting. So, folks, I'm so stoked to be back. Truly. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I had a phenomenal extended weekend. As you can see from my golden brown skin, I caught a lot of sun. Basically, I was a functioning solar panel, but don't you worry, for all the moms in the audience, I did put on my SPF 50. I actually even put on SPF 70 on the old face of mine because this is the real money maker. So I don't want that to wrinkle any earlier than it's going to need to. So yeah, no, it was great, dude. Lots of hamburgers, lots of hot dogs. Too many hamburgers, too many hot dogs. A couple libations here and there. I am pleased to report that I did make my first batch of Hugo Spritzes ever. And the people at the party might just be saying it, but rave reviews. They were all saying basically, this is the best thing I've ever had. I was on the edge of life wondering if there was a reason to keep going. And one person came up to me and said, the Hugo Spritz that I created with just nothing but pure passion and love is honestly what saved his life. So is he just saying it to say it? Maybe. Or maybe my Hugo Spritz really did save someone's life over the weekend. That's another thing to consider. The jury's out on it, and I'll keep you guys updated on that. But I hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope you guys got some sun as well, enjoyed some fireworks, hung out with friends, family, got to relax, recharge, and get ready for another crazy trading week. And that's exactly what we're going to have, folks. Another just blowout, insane, crazy week. We're expected to be getting some trade deals today. It's 9 a.m. right now. So in less than 3 hours at noon o'clock ET today, we are going to be finding out what in the world's going on with Trump and trade deals. We already know that the tariffs are expected to go into effect. Now, August 1st is the date, the tentative date as of now. But I have a feeling I'm saying that like kind of awkwardly because I believe between now and market close today that we're going to have a lot of updates on that particular storyline and that narrative. The other insane storyline and narrative is the fact that I don't know why Elon Musk is like just speed running the demise of his company. He's doing whatever he wants in the short term, and whatever he wants is apparently driving the stock down and down and down. Right now, it ended at 315 last week, which was a small baby drop of 0.1%. Right now in pre-market trading, it went from 315 to 294. It is down 6.6%. And it's all because Elon has officially started a new political party here in the U.S. So I don't know. I don't know what is going on in his brain. I don't know if he's doing this because he thinks it's like truly an altruistic thing to do for the greater good of America. I don't know if he's trying to piss off people in his stock. Like, I don't like at some point I'm like, well, maybe he's smart enough that he has something cooking in the background. Like maybe this is a chess move. Or is he actually just a crazy person who wants everyone in his holding his stock, invested in his company, to be very, very angry at him? I don't know what it is. If you ended up swinging puts over the weekend on Tesla, congrats to you. On the overall market, we're really not moving much there. But it is crazy that we're in a situation where we're talking about the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100, both hitting new all-time highs. Other large risk-on tech indicators such as Bitcoin close to a new all-time high. Lots of green to be had, lots of tendies to be made, and then yet Tesla's actually really, really far down. Like it's just completely doing it's just running in its own circuits right now. It has nothing to do with the other major tech plays. Dare I say it, the EV sector as a whole. Tesla's just doing its own thing, and as of this moment, the only thing that it is doing is not bueno. Not bueno, not bueno. How do I feel about SPY puts? Personally, I would say buying puts at an all-time high is a silly thing to do. And the reason I would say that is because all data suggests over the past couple decades, I shouldn't say all data, but the data that I have over the past couple decades, that the overall market is, when it gets to those extremes of highs and lows, it mathematically more shows trending characteristics rather than mean reverting. So obviously at a new high, if your question is, should I get puts? That would mean you're betting on a mean reversion as, okay, we're up too high, we have to come back. But for whatever reason, and there's some theories on this, but the end result is the fact that actually when you're talking about the overall market, market indices, SPY, Qs, Russell, when they hit extremes, it's more likely to get more extreme rather than actually revert. Now, eventually, obviously that reverts. And the question really here for this particular day would be, is this a good moment for reversion? I would say no, just because the underlying data set, as we're about to get into right now, price is trending higher, higher highs, higher lows. That's bullish. Momentum, we're on top of all the major EMAs, so positive bullish momentum. And then also, as I'm about to show you, the options market is call dominated. So whether you're talking about today, tomorrow, really every individual day of this week, it is call dominated, and it seems as if a lot of people are targeting 6,300. So when I look at price structure, price momentum, and the options market, the bulls are winning in all three of those. And we also just generically know how the overall market behaves at highs. And then also one thing we haven't talked about is seasonality. We're literally in this 2-week period, this week and next week is the most bullish seasonal period of the entire year. So when I think about seasonality, when I think about price structure, price momentum, options, that's all bullish. It's actually hard to find a bearish thing. But the little asterisk I want to put in here, the little caveat I want to throw out to all of you is we are expecting that trade deal news update at noon today. If the market is resilient and thinks that that news is awesome, yeah, we might be talking about another new all-time high today. On the flip side, if for some reason Trump's ego comes into play and the news ends up having a negative connotation, obviously the market could flip bearish. So that particular headline risk could favor the bulls. It could favor the bears. My point in saying this is it's a 50-50 flip. You're honestly like you're flipping a coin of like who knows how it's going to go, unless we have someone in chat that right now has like a leak from the White House and you have some inside information. You're just guessing. On that note, I should probably be spending a little bit of time breaking this down for you. Stock futures fall to start the week after White House says tariffs will go into effect on August 1st. So this was kind of the hot news as of yesterday. We got this update that, remember, the 9th, just to put a couple dates together. So today's the 7th. In 2 days, on the 9th, that was kind of the line in the sand of like when deals had to be struck by. And that's actually now what's leading to, if they're not, they'll go into effect on the 1st. But we're also being told that we're going to hear updates today. So that basically is what prompted the overnight movement. As you can see, the SPY is slightly below the closing value on Thursday. Same thing with the Qs. Actually, the Qs are closer to the low value from Thursday. And Bitcoin going from 109 and some change down to almost the low 108s in real time. And then obviously the odd duck out here is Tesla, which is just getting absolutely destroyed. But let's start with the bigger picture stuff, and then we'll get into more of the nuanced details, if you will. Trump faces crucial week for reaching trade deals. Tariffs are scheduled to be reimposed Wednesday, once again the 9th, for dozens of countries, although administration officials have signaled a new August 1st deadline is possible. So even that, not necessarily etched in stone at the moment. So we're kind of moving with 2 dates. We're moving with the 9th in 2 days, July 9th, but then we're also moving with August 1st. So like I said, various things to consider. Trump sets August 1st start for tariffs ahead of Wednesday deadline. So yeah, those are 2 dates to know and pay attention to. Once again, in 2 days, Wednesday, July 9th, and then really the first day of August. But I think even between now and noon today, that's going to change. This is from Donald Trump's own Truth Social accounts. I am pleased to announce that the United States tariff letters and or deals with various countries from around the world will be delivered starting at 12 p.m. Eastern today, Monday, July the 7th. So if you happen to be swinging a position, you might want to be paying attention to noon. If you're day trading, if you're scalp trading, pay attention to what's going down midday today. It's going to be very important. Thank you for your attention on the matter. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. I think I might start signing off all my tweets and stuff with that. Like, thank you for your attention on this matter. Matthew M. Kohrs, President of the Goonie Society. I don't know. Just something that I'm thinking about. So please pay attention to that. There's a lot of headline risk related to this whole trade war, tariff war, whatever you want to call it. Lots of headline risk with that today. Trump threatens extra 10% tariff on countries that align with anti-American BRICS policy. Trump's announcement came as the BRICS bloc of developing countries is meeting in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The bloc's leaders took aim at Trump's sweeping tariff policies In a joint statement over the weekend, the U.S. tariffs announced in April will take effect on August 1st instead of the 9th for countries that have not reached a deal with Washington. But remember, even though CNBC's reporting that as a definitive going from the 9th to the 1st, Bloomberg is reporting it as a they might move it. We're not really sure. I have a sneaky suspicion that Trump's team, maybe Trump himself, if the news picks this up as like a taco situation, that might actually piss him off and be like, nope, tariffs are up and I'm not moving it at all. So hopefully mum's the word in the world of mainstream media and people talking smack. It would make it all way easier for the bulls here in chat. But that's one issue with the trading bloc. We have some somewhat positive news. EU says it's closing in on a framework for a trade deal with the U.S. So different trading bloc, the EU, which is actually our biggest trading partner, saying we're getting closer to a framework. I don't know. This kind of has the vibe of like we're setting up a meeting to have a meeting about talking for the next meeting, like a meeting for a meeting. It feels like we're awkwardly a step away, but hey, maybe positive news will come from him. The European Union said it's nearing the framework of a trade agreement with the U.S. after the head of the bloc's executive arm held a call with President Donald Trump on Sunday. They had a good exchange. We're at the beginning of the end game, at least for an agreement in principle. You see what I mean? It feels like so high level. Like we're at the beginning of the end game, at least for an agreement in principle. Like it just feels like one layer out farther than it should be, an agreement in principle. We're talking about a framework for a trade agreement. Like, so not the actual trade agreement, but just the generic idea of how it might or might not work. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I don't know in terms of I'm not in the administration. They don't tell me any of the fancy schmancy updates before the rest of the world. In fact, you guys are probably faster on the internet than I am, so you probably know it even quicker than I do. So I'm going to be the last one to find out. But regardless, I'm here to give you that friendly neighborhood warning of starting at noon today. Don't be surprised if there's a random minute candle in your favor greatly, against you greatly. I don't know how it's going to go, but just be prepared. More nuance, we should talk about the hot drama between the world's most powerful man, obviously Donald Trump, and the world's alleged wealthiest man. Elon Musk says he has formed a new U.S. political party, the America Party. So this was basically a whole saga that played out on Twitter/X with Elon. And it all really started, and I know many of you listening to this right now, you've either watched a video or you've just seen it play out in real time. So I don't want to spend too much time on it. But what you need to know is this all went south with the big, beautiful bill, which was passed and signed into law on July 4th. So when it was even just in a bill form, even before the multiple revisions, you had Elon basically saying, hey, this is crazy. Don't do it. Why are we increasing our spending? Why are we increasing the deficit? Just not a fan of basically pissing away money. And that was about 4 to 5 weeks ago. And there was a blow up at one point, and then things got quiet. And they kissed and made up, but apparently mom and dad are fighting again to the point that I guess mom is leaving and saying, nope, I'm making a whole new house, a whole new party, the America Party. Right here, their focus is on 2 or 3 Senate seats and 8 to 10 House districts. So that's the stated goal of what's going on. Will it ever lead to anything? I don't know. We have the Independent Party. We have the Libertarian Party here in the U.S. They don't really do anything. Technically, we do have more than 2 parties, but they've not really ever achieved much in a measurable sense. So maybe it has legs, maybe it doesn't. What I can tell you is the immediate impact is very bad for Tesla. Tesla shares dropped 7% in pre-market trading after Elon Musk says he's launching a political party. Now, does launching a political party directly negatively impact Tesla? No, we're all talking about secondary and tertiary things such as something as minimal of if he's doing this, does he have enough time to actually run the company to the best of his ability? That's a small thing. A larger thing would be, okay, you doing this is a very public breakup with the world's most powerful man who also has an ego. And if he chooses to do whatever to your company, you could have a serious, serious uphill battle, far larger than just taking away like the EV tax credit. So it's just not looking good. Like you have 2 guys who are very rich, are very powerful, and they are having a very, very public fight. And it doesn't seem like either side really at this point wants to relent. And we are definitely seeing the carnage from it. Trump says Musk has gone off the rails after the Tesla CEO announces a new political party. This one's a quite lengthy one. You could also find this on True Social, obviously. But you could see, I mean, I doubt he even clocked ChatGPT for this. This was just a stream of consciousness of, I guess, how much he just doesn't like him anymore. So from Trump to Elon, I am saddened to watch Elon Musk go completely off the rails, essentially becoming a train wreck, all capitalized, over the past 5 weeks. He even wants to start a third political party, despite the fact that they have never succeeded in the U.S. The system seems not designed for them. The one thing third parties are good for is the creation of complete and total disruption and chaos. And we have enough of that with the radical left Democrats who have lost their confidence and their minds. And then it just goes on and on and on and on. So obviously, if you want to read this, go to True Social, screenshot it. We don't have, honestly, enough time to go through all of this, but it just keeps going and going and going and going and going. So on that note, for those of you who have maybe a little bit more studied on the particular situation, I would love to get your thoughts. So we posted a video about this yesterday on Rumble and on YouTube. For all those of you who watch it, thank you. We obviously appreciate it when you guys tune in. And the prediction before it opened was that Tesla stock was going to crash. And look at that. It's down 7% in pre-market trading, which that wasn't that big brain of a prediction. My question to you all now is, on the stock side, are you willing to buy this dip? And then on the political side, do you support Musk and his efforts to create a viable third party here in the U.S.? Or do you think that it is more akin to what Trump is saying, and it'll just create like division and more chaos, and it's just not something we need? So kind of a twofold question for all of you. From a stock standpoint, are you buying this dip right now, or do you think there's more to go? And then from just being a U.S. whatever voter, do you think that a third party is viable and we need one and we should actually have more than just two, maybe even more than three? Or do you think that it's just completely stupid? Trump talking about other people being radical and losing their minds. Yeah, pretty much. Coffee refills for everyone. I'm okay with it. Bought the dip the last time they were fighting. Not buying right here, though. All right, so you're waiting a little bit more. I buy all the dips in VU. Well, that's just the overall market. That's the same thing as saying buying all the dips in SPY. I support a third party, and it's not Dem or Republican. Well, that is pretty much the stated goal of, according to Elon Musk, is a viable third party that's outside the bounds of being labeled a conservative or a liberal. I assume more of a mixture of the two ideologies, more probably fiscally conservative and probably more socially liberal. I would assume, I don't know. This isn't in like the party's manifesto or anything. But I would assume that would be a common caricature of fiscally more responsible than the liberals, the Democrats, but then also probably more socially open than the conservatives. If I, once again, just guessing. This is just a show, the WWE. Could be. Tesla to 284. Crypto Joey calling out Tesla to 284. I did, this was in the update video, but I could just show you this now, where we saw some options support coming in. Equity Hub, let's go over to Tesla. So from an option standpoint, snapping 300, not so good. And then there's quite a bit of negative gamma here at 290. And actually, let me show you this. You actually have, interestingly, some sold calls at 290. It's not long puts. So generally, when you see spikes like that, especially below price, spot price, you would say, oh, no, someone's betting puts. It's actually sold calls. So interesting. But anyway, 290 seems to be a very important one. And then there's a little bit of a node here at 275 that's going to have a lot more of a gamma influence when the market actually opens. But I just wanted to point out where those big OI levels are. Maybe 270. I mean, that's quite a bit smaller than this. Interesting. Third party would help the Dems. Maybe. I would assume that it's somewhat election specific. I don't think there's like a generic statement that would always hold true such as that. But I also don't know like the breakdown of who would join that party. So you're saying it would help the Dems, as in you think some conservative people would leave, but I don't know. I would assume some liberal people would also leave for it. So then it becomes like a percentage thing of how many people leave. Do you have any thoughts on NVIDIA? Yeah, NVIDIA is a great company. And if you're not in it in the long term, you should really question what you're doing in the stock market to begin with. It's the number one company in the world for a reason. It has become vitally important to this massive advent of AI. Like it is the company selling the shovels during like the gold mine rush. It is the shovel seller. If it's more centrist, I think a lot of Dems will leave. It's the extremes that hurt both parties. So maybe it ends up becoming the massively popular party of just becoming like, hey, everyone in the middle. Dude, it's actually getting even worse right now for Tesla. That's crazy. That's absolutely nuts. It just keeps dipping and dipping and dipping. All right, let me switch this up to the 1 minute. We'll throw up. Someone just asked about NVIDIA, so I'm just going to arbitrarily put that up. Why not? So we'll watch NVIDIA. We'll watch Tesla out of the gate. If something else starts moving like crazy, feel free to yell at me, and we'll throw that up on the screen. So I do want to quickly go over two more things. First of all, here are my key levels of the day. As I always do, the green, the red, and the white are really, in this case, it's Thursday's high, low, and close. Not only are they key pivot levels, they end up being key psychological levels, just knowing where the high, the low, and the closing value are. It's always going to be a useful thing. And as you can see today, 2 of the 3 levels also pretty much perfectly aligned with a massively important OI level. So you could see the low of 6248, well, pretty much in line with 6250. Same thing with the closing value of 6280. Well, guess what? There's a lot of people playing 6280, and we close at 6279. So you can see that nice alignment. It does happen quite commonly. The other thing on your screen, if you haven't been here before, is this white box, which from a 0 DTE perspective, I would define as a transition zone. So above it bullish, below it bearish, and within it kind of choppy and really a non-decisive, indecisive market is probably the best way to say that. So we also have this noteworthy gap that, hey, maybe the market is shooting to clean up today. Technically, that gap, though, would be coming at 6227. So probably another level worthwhile to pay attention to. And guess what? That happens to be right in this transition zone. So these are the key levels I'm going to be paying attention to. Obviously, feel free to write these down. Feel free to screenshot it. Feel free to do whatever the heck you want. But these are the key levels I'll personally be paying attention to. If you're just joining now, though, I do want to, it's days like today where I'm like a little bit hesitant just because at noon, we're going to have this session at market open from 9:30 to 10. Institutions are going to get their trades in. Then probably a lot of retail is going to do their trades from 10 to 11. And then generally it's lunch and nothing really happens. And then you got some degens trading at the end of the day. That's a very common daily play out. Today, I think it's going to be very different because when we have generally the most quiet period, the most illiquid period midday during the cast session, we're going to be getting these announcements. So I have no particular model, and I don't think anyone does, that's going to be accurate and predicting of what is Trump saying, what's he doing, how's the market going to react to it. So if you are a trader, hey, I'm not your mom. You're in control of your own money. Do what you want. But I just need everyone to be mindful of the fact that from a empirical standpoint, the bulls are in control. But that doesn't really seemingly matter, especially in the short term when we're just going to get clear market moving headlines. So at noon today, everyone please be ready for that. So just want to get those levels out there, and then also remind you to sign up for the newsletter, macros.locals.com. It's 100% free. It's always been free, always will be free. I break down what's going on in the market. I give you a little cheat sheet of all the major macroeconomic events. The big thing this week is 2 different bond auctions, 10-year note, 30-year bond, and also the FOMC meeting minutes. This is with respect to macroeconomic announcements, this is the slowest week we've had in a while. And then next week it spins back up. And then with respect to seasonality, over the past 27 years, the bulls have won this day 59% of the time. When this is a look at the hypothetical equity curve you would have if you bought it open, sold at close on the S&P 500 futures market, a nice slow and steady grind to the upside. And then later this week, Tuesday, a bit more neutral. Wednesday, neutral, but leaning a little bit more bullish. Same thing on Thursday. And then Friday has been bearish for a while, but recently a little bit of a bearish reversal. So anyway, this week, next week, from a seasonality standpoint, the bulls are definitely in control. Whoever is crunching the numbers, if they're telling you something otherwise for this particular period, Well, they just don't know how to crunch the numbers, because from a seasonal standpoint, this period is very, 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 very bullish. Depending on your time frame, some would argue it is the most bullish period of the entire calendar year. So definitely something to keep in the back of your mind, especially for your swing trades. All right, the market's about to get opening in about 10 seconds here. The casino, they're going to let all of us degens back in from our long overdue and highly needed holiday. Dingity ding ding ding. The world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun. All right, as we're waiting for this opening session to really get rocking today, and it looks like the bulls are waking up very, very early, a shout out to Public. Public has been partnered up with us here at the Goonie community for quite a while, and it's for very good reason. Folks, if you're watching this right now and you're an options trader or an aspiring options trader, I'm telling you, this is the best place to be. And why it is because of the rebates. No one else gives you a rebate. If you are buying or selling calls or puts, doesn't matter. Buying, selling, doesn't matter. Calls or puts, you will be getting a rebate for every single contract you trade. You get paid a rebate when you buy that call. You get a rebate when you sell that call. Buying and selling calls and puts, you get a rebate. On top of that, there's no commission fees. There's no per contract fees. It's free to download. It's free to sign up. Yes, they have equity trading. No, there's no payment for order flow. Yes, they have crypto trading. Yes, they have bond trading. Yes, they have retirement accounts. Yes, they have high yield accounts. I'm telling you, folks, if you want to support this company, this brokerage, it's phenomenal. If you want to support this channel by signing up with them, make sure to use that link. And if you do use that link, you're going to start out at a higher rebate tier. But folks, I cannot fawn over this company enough. There's a reason why I have over $300,000 with them in my own accounts right now, always trading options. It's because it's not just that I trust them the most. It's second to none, folks. Like, not only do I think that they have us, their clients' interests, like just really the main thing in their heart, but on top of it, just the pure numbers. So whether you want to be with a brokerage that cares about you, a retail trader, or just simply a brokerage where mathematically the numbers of it are most optimal in your situation, Public is the place to do it. Like I said, check. It's free to download, free to sign up. There's no harm to you whatsoever to get rocking with it. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And obviously, I'd always shout out to Public for being a partner with us. Back to the market. Oh, we gave a little bit back, but reality, we haven't gone anywhere. The minute Orbo broke to the south side on the SPY. It has not yet broken on the Qs. As you could see on the chart here from the Thursday session, not really counting the futures half day. That was a scam of a day. We're really close to this low value on the Qs. I would prefer we don't break that. I would actually really prefer we just get going. All right, let me reload this just so we can see the options data out of the gate. All right, what do we have rocking today? It looks like a little bit of profit taking ever since a minute into the day. Yeah, some calls being sold, some puts being bought. But once again, we are only a minute into the day, so it's not that much data. And then looking at the Mag 7, which is the options combination movement of Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Tesla. All 7 of those put together, pretty much just flat and sideways. Not really a crazy move out of the gate. Looking at the 5-minute here, you could see that we are on the bearish side with respect to momentum. I get a lot of questions about what this cloud indicator is. It's literally just EMAs, exponential moving averages. I believe there's 5 of them, and it gets painted red if we're below, and it gets painted green if we're above. But once again, there's nothing too special or big brain about it. It's literally just EMAs, exponential moving averages. So personally, especially for my day trades, I like to check what's going on with the 5 and the 10-minute. For my maybe holding it all day kind of a day trade, like my longer day trades, I'll look at the 10 and the 30. And then for my swing trades, I love to look at the 30, the 4-hour, and then sometimes I even add in the daily. So I like to check multiple time frames because multiple time frames gives you an idea of what's going on. And guess what? Multiple time frames. How do people feel in the very short term, medium term, longer to medium term? And then you could just go even bigger and even smaller. But anyway, my point is that the 5-minute on the S&P 500 is now in the bearish territory. The 10-minute tried to go back bullish, but got smacked bearish. And even right now, you have the 30-minute that is testing in the bearish side of things, but not officially broken down quite yet. With respect to the NASDAQ, the 5-minute clearly breaking down, the 10-minute clearly breaking down, and the 30-minute also coming up to kind of some some important support. So let's see if we bounce out of here or if we're actually gonna get clocked today. Gonna get clocked. We will find out. We will find out. Stay tuned, folks. Tesla down 8%. Jesus. Tesla is getting destroyed right now. So the Qs did take out the low. So that's kind of important from a daily chart standpoint. Let me show you this. Just because we do have this downside gap fill. For those of you who are curious about what the level is, it is the high from Wednesday, July the 2nd, coming at 551 exactly. And the Qs are currently trading at 553. So there's $2 and some change for that downside gap fill. On the SPY, the equivalent would be 620.49. Once again, we were talking about the high from Wednesday, July the 2nd. There is a downside gap fill opportunity. Will that eventually get filled? Yeah, if I had to guess, it will eventually get filled. Is it going to get filled today? I don't know, because it feels like such a headline-driven type of a day. Jesus. We got some movers. CoreWeave, there was some news there with CoreWeave and Kohrs and people acquiring other people. That's down 5%. Circle's up 3%, potentially bottoming here at 180. ASML, not really doing anything. Microsoft trying to go for that third test of 500. Palantir, range bound ever since the sell-off on Friday the 27th. That was a big rebalancing. Broadcom looking strong. Coin sideways for right now. Tesla officially breaking down below the trend line. We know that there is quite a bit of open interest at 290. If it doesn't hold 290, I'd go to the next technical low at 273. Netflix just going sideways after hitting an all-time high. Meta also still taking a breather after an all-time high. Nvidia actually still looking pretty strong. And then Apple kind of getting rejected at this breakout of 214. But anyway, that's just a very quick and, I don't know, dirty look at what's going on early right now, because I have a feeling the way this looks at this moment with all this like little baby red, I have a feeling it's going to be completely changed by the end of the day. I think we're either going much more red or we're going to go much more green. If I had a crystal ball and knew which way this was definitively going to break, folks, I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be here. I'd be on a beach somewhere. I would be a multi-gazillionaire if I definitively knew it. But in reality, no one knows. I get that there's all these gurus telling you they have some sort of secret model that tells you where the market's going to go, which is always an interesting claim, being almost none of them are net profitable as traders. So it's interesting that they're so definitively sure, excuse me, of their trade thesis and whatnot, and yet they don't make money. Interesting. Matt, do you ever use the opening range breakout for day trades? I will, but I don't think, well, I know it's not profitable to take that trade by itself. You're going to want to lay on other filters of deciding to take the trade or to skip it for that individual day. So I have traded that, but I will tell you, if you just trade the opening range breakout out of the box, you're not going to be profitable in the long term. Obviously, in any given circumstance, you might make or lose money that day. But I'm telling you, to make it like actually net profitable, you're going to want to add in a couple other filters to decide to take the trade or not. And also, you're going to want to play around with what opening range. So you're saying, do I take the opening range? There's not a single opening range. There's multiple. There's whatever time really you want. Technically, there's an infinite amount of opening ranges. So I will let you know a little mathematical secret here. The larger your opening range, so let's say the 30-minute compared to the 15-minute, the 30-minute is better, has better statistics. The initial balance, as in the opening hour, has better odds than the 15-minute, and the 15-minute has better odds than the 10-minute, like that type of a thing. So I know right now, for whatever reason, people are trying to popularize the 15-minute. I mean, I could tell you this right now. On the 15-minute opening range breakout, when it happens, we could pay attention to it today. As soon as it breaks above or below, literally you still have a 50-50 shot of reverting to the complete other side at some point in that trading session. So there's really no edge there. If you're telling me there's a 50% chance that we can completely revert, what's the point? You're flipping a quarter. And I actually don't know who's popularizing it right now. I don't know who's trying to teach it right now. But all I can tell you definitively is the statistics are still 50-50. On a 15-minute orbital, opening range breakout or breakdown, when you break one side, the high or the low, you have a 50% chance at some point in that cash session of reverting to the other side. 50-50. So when you tell me odds like that, yeah, you could still be profitable with the 50-50 odds. But now we have to get into the deeper math of, okay, well, when you're right, what's your average win size? So the question asked was, do I take the opening range breakout? And it could be good. It could be bad. I'm not against it. I'm also not blindly for it, because what are you doing? Are you trend following? Are you scalp trading? Are you doing a one-to-one risk to reward? Like, there's so many other things in there rather than just like, oh, do you trade the opening range breakout? I guarantee you there's people in this world who are trading the same opening range, and yet one of them is going to be profitable and the other one's going to be losing money. And it's just because the devil's in the details. It's going to be the other things involved in that trading system that are going to make you profitable or not. Speaking of making someone profitable or not, I do want to let you guys know that I cheated you a little bit. I did already do my trade today. Actually, can I even show you when I did it? Right here. I went long at 7:59. I was feeling really good about the 8 a.m. hour, and I was completely wrong. Because as you can see, at 8, 8:01, 8:02, 8:03, 8:04, 8:05, I was completely wrong. And then just by sheer pure luck, some whale at 8:06 decided to buy. And then even that wasn't enough. And then I got lucky that another whale at 8:15 decided to buy again. So like I said, I'm keeping with my trade challenge of just that one trade, $300. As you can see, I've stuck to it. I'm now 5 days into the challenge, halfway with the challenge. The challenge is 10 days on all accounts, $300 per account for 10 days. I'm trying to get 3K into each account. Today, it does officially mark the halfway point. So 5 days in, 5 days to go. But I just want to let you know that I went long at 7:59. I got out at 8:19. And it is actually at this moment that I realized that 3 of the accounts did not trade. So in a weird way, I kind of cheated you, but I'm now realizing that 3 accounts did not trade whatsoever. And it's because I literally did not toggle them on. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna trade this with you folks. Why not? When in Rome. When in Rome. Actually, I kind of like this trade right here. I just want to double check my sanity. Maybe it is not the appropriate. I like the chart setup right here. We put in the first higher low. We're finding support at the low of the session. So just if it were to bounce, I see NVIDIA actually trying to go here. I see NVIDIA trying to go. We are in negative gamma. It's starting to gear up. But how are options? How's the NASDAQ options? We are grinding up. VWAP recapture. Smack at VWAP. Rejection at VWAP. Oh, brother. 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 Oh, sister. Oh, sister. Oh, sister. Oh, sister. No one says that. Everyone says, oh, brother. No one's saying, oh, sister. No one says, oh, sister. Oh, am I just being silly? All I have to do is trade these 3 accounts. Let me actually make sure I've toggled this properly this time. I have. All right. Is anyone in chat feeling uniquely lucky today? That's my question. You guys who are obviously my financial advisors, I am coming to you in a moment of need. And what I need is the luckiest trader in here. Whoever identifies as the luckiest trader, I need you to step up, be a man or a woman, doesn't matter. Come up to the plate and tell me if I should go long or short. Who is feeling the luckiest? Just buy it. All right. This is the fate of who said that? Someone screamed at me to yes, buy it. John Freddy Riviera. Mr. Rivera. John with the H that has to be a typo. John Freddy, JFR. So this is all for JFR. Oh, JFR. My financial health is in your hands. Actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to capitalize the wins, as in they're all mine, but I will socialize the losses, as in the losses are 100% yours. Rivera, JFR. This is all for you, buddy. How confident are you feeling? He said, he just screamed at me, just buy it. Just buy it. Well, I would have already been done with the trade if I went short. But that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to be wrong here. I only need a baby movement. I just need a quick little tap, a little tap-a-rooski of the opening candle high. We just need to do the old breakdown of the 1 minute Orbo reversal all the way up to the breakout of the 1 minute Orbo. That's what we're here doing today. We're so degenerate. We're playing the opening minute Orbo reversal based off the signal from JFR in chat. That's what we're doing. That is what we are doing. Oh, that's not good. John, did you consider this in your analysis? John, did you consider the fact that the delta's puking? John, please tell me you took that into account. John, help me. Help me, John. John, help me. John. I need you, buddy. Please tell me you anticipated that. I don't know. I feel like John really wasn't doing his analysis. Do you think John did this to me on purpose? Like, do you think he wanted to see me fail? John, tell me the truth. Was that your goal this entire time? Did you tell me to go long when you actually knew I should have gone short? Were you looking at the options flow and you're like, dude, that's going to tank? And you got me. You tricked me? You bamboozled me? I've been hoodwinked by my own chat on the day of my daughter's wedding. Hey, Meta's green. Vago's green. Palantir's green. Tesla, deeply red. Bitcoin at 108. He shorted. Oh, John. Honestly, I kind of appreciate that. If John bamboozled me into going long so he could go short and made money, if he faded me, that's a 5D chess move type of a play. You kind of have to respect it. Yeah. Just by clearly a perfect analysis. Exactly. But that's my point, is he said it with so much confidence. It's almost like he was in the know or something. Like that. There's so many people in here every single day saying buy or sell, but like he screamed it from the mountaintops. He's like, just buy. Like it felt like he had some insider information, honestly. I'm going to say it. I know you guys don't have the balls to say it, so I'm going to say it. It really felt like John had some serious insider information. Just buy the short. Yeah, what if he meant just buy puts? He didn't really clarify. He might have meant just buy puts. So maybe that one's my fault. All right, John, this is your moment. John. Buddy, I can feel it. I can feel it in my loins. This is the time that John's financial advice, his legally binding financial advice, is going to hold. I can feel it. His 100, I just want to clarify, it is 100% legally binding the financial advice he gave me on the Matt Kohrs Show stream on July the 7th at roughly 9:45 a.m. ET. I just want to get that out there for any future legal scholars who might be taking up this case, that John gave me very, very promising legal advice. What was that? Coin. I'm getting an alert on coin, boys. Coin. Potential breakout on coin. Want to mention BTM, newer IPO, Bitcoin ATM company. So it's just riding the hype. All these like hype ones, they don't end well. What the fuck? This is probably one of the ugliest charts I've ever seen. It looks like a failed SPAC that is now coming back because they're doing a bit, I don't know. If you like the Bitcoin treasury strategy, go find a more trustworthy company doing this. I mean, this is horrible looking. Horrible looking. It's just, it feels like the risk is crazy high. Crazy high. All right, SPY not really doing much. Back to the top of this range. The Q's not doing much. Back to the top of the range. NVIDIA is sideways. Tesla is still dying. We are getting some nice green movement, though. Coin popping. Avago got a pop. Palantir got a... Actually, Coin is getting the nicest pop right now. Yo, we forgot to check in on my favorite stock. Dude. Nothing but net. The fucking Stephen Curry of the market. When we talked about this, when I gave you the Matt Kohrs cannot miss 5 out of 5 guarantee, it was trading at $36, $37. Dude, I'm telling you. Park Ha Biological Technology Co. Ltd. does not miss. The reason it can't miss is because they don't post any of their financial numbers. Everything is shrouded in extreme secrecy. So one way to just hide anything going bad is just to not report it. By definition, it's always going good. What a dominant performance. Park Ha Biological Technology Co. Ltd., the stock of the century, the stock of the millennium. Yo, John, did you get it right? John, look. Hey, everyone. Join me for a round of applause and thanking John for making me $1,000. I will use that money wisely today. John. I didn't doubt it for a second. I know some people are going to replay this clip and they're going to make it seem like I doubted you, but I didn't. I didn't doubt you for 1 second, John. Everyone else, there was some chatty Cathys in here. You could rewind chat. There was people, not me, clearly not me, doubting John, but I didn't. I never lost faith for 1 second. The way I would define my faith in John's financial advice that he gave to me on the Matt Kohrs Show today, July 7th, Monday, around 9:40, I would say my faith in his call out was akin to having herpes. You never really lose it. I would say it was, my conviction was a herpes level conviction. And for that, John, I would like to thank you. I would like to thank John for herpes. Thank you for that, brother. Dude, how are we already this far off the rails? We haven't even turned the hour. When you trade like Scary Boy, $300. I don't know. I don't know what that means, but I am a scary boy. I'm a scared boy. I'm a scared boy. Tom from MySpace, he's like, huh? What? What did he say? I had you guys for a second there. You were on my side. And now I feel that you guys you're pulling back from me. Did you see that Australia is making herpes great again? I did not see that. I did not catch up on the most recent weekly digest of herpes, but we'll read it one of these days. I'll get there. It was just because of the holidays. Maybe it's like lost in the mail or something. So I missed that on Australia making herpes great again. Wait, doesn't I thought all those little koala bear things, don't they all have like chlamydia? I thought that was the issue with koala bears. Do we have anyone with a deep knowledge of koala bears and or Australia that can confirm that statement? I believe chlamydia is rampant in the koala bear community. Is that right, or am I making that up? When I say koala bears, I mean like the actual animal in the animal kingdom. I'm not talking about some like furry community. That would be weird. I'm talking about like legit koala bears. I'm going to every barbecue place in Austin, then get drunk at Rogan's comedy place. That's what you're doing tonight? That sounds like a good day. That sounds like a good day. Not that you invited me, but even if you didn't, I wouldn't be able to go because I'm like already super, super busy with like a lot of cool stuff, hanging out with a bunch of cool people. Even if you invited me on like that trip, that sounds really, really awesome. And like, it would be arguably up my alley because I love barbecue. Like, even if you did that, I'd have to say no, just cause like, I already have so many things going on. Like, I'm just like a busy guy, really popular guy. A lot of people reach out to me and they're like, yo, let's hang out. Let's do all this like super cool shit. So because of that, I'm already just like super busy. It is confirmed. Koalas do have a rampant chlamydia problem. You heard it here first on the internet. Multiple loin references already. This has to be bullish. You're not wrong, meat eater. You're not wrong. Can you check your crystal ball and see how Tesla is going to do? Yeah, sure. Hang on one second. Hang on one second. Oh. Will Tesla bounce back? Down. Don't count on it. That's financial advice right there. Will Tesla bounce back? Don't count on it. So if you have puts, huge congrats. If you have calls, all I can say is don't shoot the messenger. You know, I'm not the one making a third political party fighting with the most powerful man in the world. I am just the messenger. Just the messenger. Ooh, we are having a tough time getting out of this range there, Tonto. So technically, the 15-minute Orbo breakout. See, this is what's tough about. Actually, this is a great teaching example. Okay, so technically, the Orbo breakout was in the bullish direction, and actually, we got it on both. But look at that. If you took that trade, you're already kind of getting clapped. So that's what I like. I don't get it. I see that it's becoming a popular concept, a popular idea on especially X is where I'm reading about it more. But you could see here at 9:52, 22 minutes into the day, we technically had a bullish Orbo break, a breakout. We went above the established high of the first 15 minutes. But look at it. It still might work, but as of right now, it's just a clear, you're kind of getting smoked right now. I think there's ways to improve upon the base concept. For example, of like, okay, maybe this defines your direction, but maybe you wait for a certain fib level pullback. Maybe you wait for the 25% pullback, the 50% pullback, the 67% pullback. So maybe you don't chase it at the high. Maybe you're like, okay, that's my direction, and now I just want to pay less of a price, and you get in at a cheaper price. I don't know, maybe something as basic. Where would fib retracement actually here? Where would like a 50% pullback would be at 553.38. So somewhere in this candle at 948. So here's all these fib levels, and so maybe you wait for something like that. Actually, Tesla's bounced. Did the magic 8-ball lie to us? Dude, 289. Tesla down 7.5%. That's crazy. All right, anyway. Maybe you wait for a certain percentage pullback. Maybe you wait for the first reversal of the day, which actually would have just happened there at 9:58. I just think there's other things, or maybe you don't take it if the options market isn't trending in your favor. Right now, the NASDAQ did pop, but ever since whatever time, 9:55, we haven't been going anywhere. Mag 7 is actually closer to being at the bottom than it is at the top. S&P 500, actually, that is looking now pretty strong. So maybe you're like, nope, I'd rather take it with the SPY than the Qs because the SPY options flow looks better than the Mag 7. Like these are all things that you could, I don't know, alter a few of your input criteria and potentially make far, far better output. So I find it very, very, very difficult to believe that something out of the box like a orbital breakout or breakdown is going to be profitable. I find it very difficult to believe. And if it were, it would be like data mined to all hell and the edge would have been lost years ago. So that's obviously another thing that you should consider. Trade deal is coming up in crypto this week and next week. I don't know what it means. Well, we're going to start getting a better idea around noon o'clock today. That looks like a Loch Ness Monster photo shoot. Oh, what? What are you guys talking about? A Loch Ness Monster photo shoot. I don't know what you're on, but I'll take two. I'll take two. What in the world? A Loch Ness Monster photo shoot? You guys are confusing me. You guys. All right, 5-minute try to go bullish. So did the 10. The 10 got smacked down at market open, but it is attempting to recover. And the 30-minute seemingly saving itself as of now. 5-minute try to go back bullish, getting smacked. 10-minute try to go back bullish, getting smacked. 30-minute not recovering. So right now we're being told two different stories. From the 30-minute on ES, that is bullish. 30-minute on NQ, that is bearish. I would say, and I'm not saying we're smart, but if we were smart, we would be patient and wait for them to either both agree on the bullish side or both agree on the bearish side. Right now, there is a mismatch between the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, simply not agreeing. So who's going to win? Who's going to be right? I don't know. But just hear me out on this one. If you were to cosplay as a good trader, if you were just to like for one day, like haha, hee hee, like if you were to joke around, if you were to take on a character that is not naturally you, a profitable, consistent, well-disciplined trader, you would wait for them to both agree. So maybe, just maybe, if you're trying to get an early jump on Halloween this year, and you need a spooky, scary outfit, and you want to cosplay as a profitable trader, that might just be the thing that you do today. You might just wait. Will SoFi break 20 today? I have no fucking clue. It's pretty darn close. Nope, almost an all-time high. So a huge technical breakout above 1850, but recently it has fought at 24, and at one point it got as high as 28. But ever since they kind of figured out this whole loan debacle of the Rona period, SoFi is fighting back. Nice technical break, and it's just been ramping up ever since the start of June. Their business model is severely impacted by when people didn't have to pay back their student loan debt and other forms of debt, to be fair, during the Rona period. But now that the current administration is like, guess what, Tonto, you're going to be paying, obviously a very strong recovery for SoFi. I don't believe, if I have it, it's in one of the AI accounts. I don't have any like manual SoFi positions right now, but I do admit it looks strong. I mean, higher highs, higher lows, strong momentum, probably strong options, nice technical breakout. It seems like the backdrop of what's going on, especially in the US with respect to student loan debt, is going to favor SoFi's upward movement. So, I mean, I see the play. I get the play. Hello. I just don't actively have one on that I know of at the moment. Hello? Where did my thing go? Why did the box? What's in the box? Why did my box shrink? Okay. looking for support at the low from Thursday's session, which also happens to be the tippity top of today's transition zone. Don't be surprised if this is a double bottom. That is a very classic setup. We've seen it a gazillion times before. Buying the reversal off of support, it's not a bad idea. On this individual trade, will it work? I have no idea. But what I can tell you is if you do that type of minimal risk, high reward trade time and time again, you will be net profitable, because when you're wrong, it's a small paper cut. It's a 4-point hit. But if you're right, well, you could ride it to 70, 80, 84, maybe all the way up to 3,000. So my point is that one right trade pays off so many losing trades. So that really comes back to, I know no one wants to hear this, proper risk management, proper sizing, proper leverage. And just, if you want to keep your losses as small as possible, and when you have those big winners, well, guess what? Ride it, ride it, ride it. But I do find it interesting that we pretty much perfectly bounced right off this level that was called out before the market even opened today. And why is that? Well, this level was a bit more obvious than normal to identify. 6250, obviously clear psychological implications. It also happens to roughly align with the last trading session's low. There's quite a bit of open interest there. So you never know if you're going to break out or break down from a key level. All you know about key levels is it's time for you to pay attention. So in this particular circumstance, as I had it like drawn out and it's in the Discord, and I hope you guys are paying attention to it, you could have had a sitting order right there. And if it went a little bit more, you just cut it. If you catch the bounce, you catch the bounce. Maybe you don't want to play it that way. Maybe you don't want to have a sitting order because we have news and you never know how crazy things are going to get. Maybe you just have alerts set, and as soon as it hits, you start to pay attention to it more. And if we kind of recover from this like little choppy session, if we break to the upside, great, take it. You know your well-defined risk. As soon as it really goes in your favor, that's when you put your stop to break even and you're fishing. If you catch a big marlin, you could ride it. And if it sucks, you can cut bait and you're either going to be break even or not. Actually, I might even take this trade, honestly. Do I want to? Do I want to? Tesla's actually getting a pump. A little fake out breakdown here. A little fake out breakdown. Here, what account should I do this on? We'll do it on. Technically, the trade didn't fire yet. Technically not yet. If I was going to be very, very disciplined about it. Dude, Tesla, 89 up to 9. People are buying the dip. That's crazy. Right here. So something happened at 10:02. Institutions at the turn of the hour kind of were stalled out. And then 2 minutes into it, just consistent buying. Interesting. Yeah, something happened here. You could see there was this like inflection point at 10:02, almost 10:03. The Mag 7 Delta. Is it specific to Tesla? Tesla's been actually bought up since 9:56. That Delta's popping. Is it Nvidia? No, Nvidia's being sold. Palantir? No, that's flat. Microsoft? No. Apple? No. Netflix actually getting sold. MicroStrategy? No. Meta is catching a bid. META is catching a bid in the options market. Meta. Zuckerberg does it again. He does it again. What's Meta looking like? Yeah. No surprise there. No surprise there. Tesla is one stock I won't short. It's too culty. Very, very difficult to short, as you referred to it, as culty stocks. First 3 test days of take profit, 2 50K accounts, up 3,300 each. Any reason I should keep trading or just coast? Definitely just coast. As soon as you hit that profit target with the proper ratios, like considering that 50% rule, up there in each. First 3 test day. Well, how much did you make though? Because you can't exceed the 50%. As long as one day isn't more than, in your case, half of 3,300. Yeah, you want to consider that 50% rule. So I don't know what you made individually, Caesar. Tesla's getting that pamp. It's getting that pamp. Summertime YOLOs on IWM. Oddly enough, I was looking at IWM over the weekend. I almost need like a deeper pullback though, but it is looking strong. Higher highs, higher lows on top of this. Has more distance to go, like to the all-time high. I mean, even this, that could be a nice push to 230. I like it. I just don't know if I like it exactly at this second. I just don't want to pay this much. I kind of just want to wait for a little bit of bearish variance to get in on a better fill, but it is looking strong. It is looking strong. Pamp. Meta had that nice pump. Tesla's fighting back, and we are now just effectively range bound. Range bound. Just waiting. Waiting. Okay. Exit. I just need to put my risk where it's appropriate. That's what I care the most about. Trading this in a personal account. And I am front running my own signal a little bit. It's supposed to flip here at 42, but hey, I just have a good feeling, you know? How could it ever go wrong if you just have a good feeling? If you just have a freaking good feeling. All right. Long at 936, targeting 23,000, and my stop is 2,900. So basically 2x reward relative to the risk. And really, I could probably even cut it sooner if I wanted to. What's this bar? I could use the base of the 1003 bar. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, some buyers stepped in. It's just more of a bet. Will buyers keep stepping in aggressively? We'll find out. Thanks, brother. What do I think about BBAI? I feel like a lot of people have been asking me about it, which makes me think that, there's going to be a lot of bag holders. It's just chasey. The breakout day was here on the 24th. It's just like, why chase it now? This breakout day, you're in at 450, you're in at 460. The trade here was on Tuesday, June the 24th. Not here. You're literally paying a what percentage premium? You're paying a 79% premium now. You're like, by definition, it's chasing. Now, if you already took that trade and you got in when you should have, ride the trend and pray the trend keeps going. But at this point, if you were to go in, what's your risk point? Are you risking this recent low? That's 17%. The gap fill is 21%. The breakout bar is 43%. Like, that's quite a bit of risk. So had you gotten in on the appropriate breakout with appropriate risk, yeah, you're looking great. Ride the trend. Would I go bullish on it now? No. Would I go bearish on it now? No, I don't love that trade. If I did, I would just risk this recent high because you just got to keep it. But even then, how much are you risking? Risking 10%. That's not so bad. It's also not so good. As of right now, I don't see any play on it. Had I caught the breakout bar, I would just keep riding the trend. Other than that, I wouldn't go long right now. Too much risk. I also really wouldn't go short because, like someone else was bringing up before, like it just goes crazy. Like you just don't know how long. Judging by how this has behaved in the past, I do think it eventually comes down. Eventually, I think this will represent a good short, actually. Just every time it pumps, pump, smack, pump, smack, pump, smack. I don't know what's going on, but I doubt there's anything different enough to suggest that it's going to trade like in a completely abnormal way than it has historically. So for me, I see that pump, I see it dump, pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump. To think that this time is going to be anything different, you'd really, really have to do some convincing. I don't know why it would just completely be changing its trend now. Any stocks you are watching or investing in regarding quantum computing? Yeah, They're all small though, just because like these are kind of unproven companies. It's kind of an unproven field. So it's just high risk positions, and because it's high risk, like the investments themselves, it's a very small position. So hey, if it pays off, it pays off, and probably better odds than not that they don't do so well. But I also do want a bit of skin in the game, so I don't want to completely miss the boat if it were to take off. So I think the field is so new that it inherently is carrying quite a bit of risk. But also, like I said, like, I mean, what if it is the next thing post AI? Like, what if quantum computing is like the next big, like thematic investment? So because of that, I have a little bit, but I think a little bit is appropriate from a risk and a reward standpoint, because it's so early that if it were to take off, you're getting a big payout. But also, it's small enough that most companies don't work in the long run. It's not even that crazy saying like, hey, most companies fail. That's what happens. Most companies do fail. So just in case that were to happen, like whatever, I'll survive the hit. BBAI has an inside track to government contracts due to new CEO. Yep, whatever. Do you know how many times we've heard theories like that? Dude, I hear this all of the time, like with these ideas of like, no, this is why this time's going to be different. And like, dude, I heard it with a gazillion of these types of companies. I heard it with Workhorse. I heard it with AMC. I heard it with GME. I heard it with CEI. Like literally, I've heard of this time and time again. People come in, and it's basically, when I say it's a shit looking stock, I mean it's a shit looking stock based on its previous like performance in the equities market. Like just looking at the chart, it's an ugly looking chart. And then people just come up with these ideas of like why this time it's different. And guess what? It's not different. It's not. I think the only company that you could point to of like it completely changed how it actually went is MicroStrategy. I think that's the only fair argument. MSTR, aka strategy. Let's go to the weekly view so you can see it better. This thing, circa 2000, huge pump dump, nothing on the ropes. Like just needs a lifeline, gonna die. Bigger pumps, dumps, pump dumps. Big pump, big dump. Like it was bad looking. And then even 2021, surprise, pump, dump. Oh, is that a higher low? Are we actually going to be better? Nope, massive dump. And then this one legit did take off. So this is the only one that comes to mind where I would say it kind of bucks the trend. And the reason this one started to behave completely differently was because of the Bitcoin strategy, the Bitcoin treasury strategy. So like, I'm not going to sit here and say there's literally not an example of a stock completely pivoting and changing how really it performs. I'm just saying it's few and far between. But like that argument of like, oh, inside track. Their CEO was Secretary of Homeland Security. Like, okay, if that's a good enough reason for you to invest, have at it. And I wish you luck. But to me, that's not something special. That like, who gives a shit? Do you know how many like fancy schmancy fucking billionaires run companies with a lot of connections and nothing happens? Yeah, it can happen, but like that's like truly your hard-earned money. Like you dedicate hours of your life doing something, your work to get paychecks. You're willing to transform that time into a wager, a gamble, a bet, an investment. That because the CEO was the Secretary of Homeland Security, like that's good enough for you. I mean, if it's good enough for you, like, dude, fucking have at it. Like, I'm not here to stop you. I'm just saying that wouldn't even come into consideration for me. Would not come into a second of consideration, especially in the current regime and like how this stuff works. You think just because of an old job post in the government that they have the quote unquote inside track for getting contracts in this state? That's weak, man. If that's your thesis, I mean, like I said, I think you're going to need something else to come true. I don't want you to lose money. I would just say if that's your reasoning for putting actual money into an investment, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? That's crazy. How's the options flow on what? Mag 7 puked now kind of jagged and bouncy. I think a lot of people are just waiting for this announcement at noon. SPY dumped, pumped, dumped. Now we're trying to figure out what's going on. I think it went from really sideways to maybe slightly more bearish on the SPY, where it's still just sideways on the Qs. I think a lot of the market in terms of the overall market, is waiting for these noon o'clock announcements. Individual equities, Meta's looking pretty good. Actually, Tesla has had a nice bounce back percentage-wise. It's down by quite a bit, but Meta's looking good. Coin was looking pretty good, so maybe it bases here, bounces off of that. Avago was looking decent. Palantir is looking decent. There is opportunity right now in real time in individual names, and we did get some alerts there on Coin and on Meta. I got in very early on 126 calls, so I'm in a good spot. Not telling anyone they should have to buy it, but got in a good spot and have conviction. What is having? I don't understand this conviction thing. Like, you realize your conviction has no influence on the market. Like this, that's such an emotionally charged word. I have conviction. The fuck does that mean? That's so silly. Conviction, like just feel it, man. I just feel it. This is just a game of odds. You would never sit down at the blackjack table and have conviction that the next card coming out is the 8 of hearts. It's just a game of odds. It's pure math. That's all this game is. It is math. It's not. I just feel so hard. I have fuck your conviction. Who gives a fuck about your conviction? I could tell you I don't. I could tell you the market sure as fuck doesn't. It's not like your conviction is going to keep a stock from going down. What does that have to do with anything? I am not saying I am changing the price. I just see it going up in the long term. Based on what? That the guy who's running it used to be the Secretary of Homeland Security? That's why you see it going up. You think in the environment of supply and demand, that demand will continually increase in the future exclusively because the CEO used to have a position. That's the theory. That's the announcement. That I just don't. That, like, you're just operating outside the bounds of like what the market is. The market is exclusively just supply and demand. And where supply and demand heat, that's equilibrium. Equilibrium is price. As people decide to transact at higher and higher prices, as people decide to buy at higher prices, other people are willing to sell to them at higher prices, price goes up, and vice versa. This idea of just like, I just have this feeling, man. I just like by definition, that's already priced in. Like, now that if you know it, if someone in the retail community knows information such as like their old job, that like that's already now baked into the price. And I guarantee you is baked into the price far before retail even knew about it, just because we don't have as good of news feeds or analysis or things like that. So to use that as like the crutch of your investment thesis of like, no, I think it's going to keep going up. That news is known. That is no news. It is already priced in. So the question is like, why do you think it's going to go up? So, okay. People used to say the same thing about Palantir when I bought it at 12. What the fuck? You realize Palantir has gotten not just a crazy amount of government contracts, but they keep getting more and more and more and rolling out better and better products, which increases the demand. You're literally answering your own question about supply and demand. As demand increased and supply stayed limited, I don't believe they've done stock splits or anything like that. Guess what happens to price? It goes up. So wait, now your thesis is because you bought Palantir at 12 and it worked, your thesis is that means that you should be bullish on BBAI? What? Now, like, this is becoming even more contorted. At a certain point, I could at least like be like, okay, like whatever. You like the fact that the CEO used to have government connections, but now your point is that because it worked for you in a completely different stock, that it's now going to work for you in this one. I think the same thing will happen to BBAI. That is my point. Even though it's a completely different stock with a completely different team in a completely different category at a completely different time, that's your thesis. Well, good luck, dude. I just... That's fucking crazy. But all right. Good luck. I don't want you to lose money. I hope it goes up. But I have a feeling in 2 months we're going to be talking about this, 3 months, and it's going to be down. Like, all right. I haven't necessarily heard of a successful trading thesis in that particular category, but hey, maybe you're going to be the first one that plays it off. Maybe you're going to be the first one to make it make money. IBM? Dude, that's a stock we haven't checked out in forever. Holy shit. It is going for an all-time high. Dude, this stock didn't do anything for years. Nothing. From 99, like it ripped up, it pulled back, it ripped up, it pulled back. Like so many, like it is breaking out now. It's obviously crushing it now, especially stepping into this world of AI. But like, think about all the money that was just not made in this stall out period. 80 to 200, that's a pretty big pump. But then it came all the way back down to 83. Like it's just so many round trips. I wonder if this next one, it is about to go though, seemingly. All right, 5 minute trying to test again, 10 minute trying to test again, 30 minute trying to save itself. 5 minute, actually potentially a bullish breakout here. Look at the 5 and the 10 on NQ trying to fight back. 30 minute trying to save itself. Did Matt go bust yet? No, I'm out of... Well, I'm in this trade, and I'm long at 36. I'm crushing it. I'm up. How many ever points that is? 25 points. So no, that trade's working, and then I'm flat on all of these. I traded on 25 accounts. All 25 accounts made $300. So you could do the math there, but $6,000 at minimum. And actually, I should kill all these orders now. Cancel all orders. I just want to make sure I don't have any rogue orders popping off on me. But no, this is day 5 of the trading challenge. I'm doing everything in my power to be as, I guess, just like disciplined with this of get my one trade, $300, trying to do that for 10 days straight, put $3K in each account. Like I said, today was day 5, hence why they're all at 51.5. So I'm halfway through. I've officially just done half of the challenge. We're 5 days in, 5 days to go, which would mean that if everything goes according to plan, that the challenge, if successful, will be Monday of next week. Monday of next week. But we'll see. Here's a look at the flow. The SPY bouncing pretty dramatically ever since 10:15. And the Mag 7, not a dramatic bounce, but now trending up ever since 10:02. It does look like we put in a higher low here at 10:15. And since then, there has been some call buying and a little bit of put selling. But really, you could just see the evident call buying occurring ever since 10:15. So a little bit of a positive movement there. Here's a look at the gamma map. Quite a bit of negative gamma. There is a positive gamma node here at 6220. Earlier today, there was a larger positive gamma node at 6270, but since we're not close to it, remember, gamma matters based on not only time left, but also distance. So the fact that we're farther away from it means that the gamma influence is less, and that could happen even if the position size doesn't change. Gamma does very much matter of time left until expiration, and also on top of that, your distance away from whatever the strike is. So obviously 6220 has gained quite a bit. We didn't really get there today. We got to what, 45, maybe 50. SPY's giving some of it back now. Yeah, we caught ourselves right here at 10:15. A bounce off the low value, the closing value of whatever day, open interest value, top of the transition zone. Buyer stepped in, but we're still seeing a succession of lower highs. It looked like we might have been getting this reversal at 10:25 because we took out these highs, but that was quickly smacked. We'll see. I want to, once again, we're seeing the 30-minute on ES above, but we're seeing it below on NQ. It's just, this comes back to my argument of, are you being a disciplined trader or not? What is happening at noon today? We're getting, I guess, the first batch of announcements related to the trade war. The first batch. I don't know how many batches are going to be, and I don't even know if there's known information on who it's going to relate to. We're just kind of, that's why we're all like kind of awkwardly waiting for it. But yeah, at noon today, we are allegedly getting updates on the current state of tariffs, global tariffs. Any country aligning themselves with the anti-American policies of BRICS will be charged an additional 10% tariff. There will be no exceptions to this policy. Thank you for your attention on this matter. So that came out about 12 hours ago. Also, this is the main thing. So these tariff letters and deals will be delivered starting at 12 p.m. Eastern, Monday, July 7th. So this is kind of what seemingly, it seems as if the market is waiting for updates on that. But obviously, I'll tell you better at 4. I'll tell you better at market close. Oh, apparently, did you guys see that the Epstein thing? Both the DOJ and the FBI said that, like, there's nothing to see there. That's kind of interesting. There's a lot of hot talk about that one. Oh, GNS. This was another one that I talked about. I actually got into a fight with the CEO. Do you guys remember the GNS stuff in here? So many people were like, you got to get in. You got to get in. And then we found out that they were actually getting paid. Like the analysts who were giving them positive targets, they had to disclose that they were getting paid to give them those targets. And yet people in chat in the community kept saying, no, man, it's got to go up. Dude, it doesn't got to go up. I forgot about, that's a blast from the past. Dude, can I find those emails still? I mean, we did like a deep dive into it on that one. A deep dive into it. Is there any, what is this one? Elon's response. I hate reading all that. I'm happy for you though. We're sorry that happened. I forgot about GNS. How long did this take? April 4th versus July 4th. 3 months. We went from extreme fear to extreme greed. Another breadth indicator suggests the bullish trend may continue over the next 3 months. Since 1999, whenever the percentage of S&P 500 stocks trading above their 200 DMA has risen from below 20% to above 60%, the average 3-month return has been 5.2%, positive 92% of the time. That's interesting. Actually, I found other stats like that I want to share with you, just to give you kind of more, where do I see? Generally, I just use the liking system as my bookmarks to share with you guys. Historically, when the S&P 500 rises by more than 25% after a correction of at least 15%, the forward returns post-World War II have generally shown a strong continuation. Notably, the 6-month forward return interval has seen a perfect record of 18 instances of positive returns and 0 negative ones. That's actually crazy. Once again, so that's for 6 months later. 18 and 0. 3 months later, it's been positive 15 out of the 18. And 1 year, it's been positive 16 times. Wow. That's a pretty good hit rate. 90%, 100%, 97%. That's crazy. Average after signals. 15.2. Damn. But the times that it didn't work, 1946, and then 23, it dropped to. That's still not even that bad. A drop of 2%. Look at all those other gains. Even the 1 month and the 2 month is kind of interesting. Positive 12 out of the 18, positive 13. Really, pretty much the 1 month, 2 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. Obviously, some of these numbers are better than others. But I thought those were all pretty impressive stats. I thought there was one more I had for you. Oh, IEX is trying to go for options, and Citadel, surprise, surprise, is trying to shut it down. That's interesting. AI video generation is advancing at the speed of light. I actually think it's going to take my job. I might not have a job in a year due to this AI shit. What is this one? S&P 500 up between 5 and 10% year to date at the midpoint. Final 6 months higher 13 out of 15 times, and a full year up 14 out of 15 times, which better than average returns as well. That's an interesting stat. So halfway through the year, if we are up between 5 and 10% year to date, which we were, which is why they did this study, the final 6 months are higher 13 out of 15. And then a full year from now, 14 out of 50. Those are some interesting stats. So the times it didn't work were 07 and 2011. Surprise, surprise. But even then, the full year return to stay green. Even just the Q3, there's not that many bearish instances. Huh. New all-time high also means mean continuation, bullish. Invest at a new high, you still made money. That's crazy. That's interesting. So even if you buy at new highs, you're actually outperforming. That's an insane statistic. Average cumulative S&P 500 total returns. Invest on any day. Invest at a new high. Investing at a new high underperforms at the 3 month. It is equal on the 6 month, and then it wins the 1 year, the 2 year, the 3 year, the 5 year. That's a crazy statistic. You can literally buy at a new high, and this study is done from 1988 to 2024. If they looked at everything from the 3 months to the 5 year, and investing at a new high has outperformed picking a random day. That's fucking ridiculous, dude. What a stat. What a stat. That's nuts. Hey, the more you know. I highly recommend you guys bring that up to the hot girl at the bar this weekend. I think that's something that would be really, really interesting to them. You should just don't even ask them their name or something like that. Like, you don't want to scare them away. Just like hop right into the stats and statistics of the market. Not an all-time high though. We literally just hit an all-time high. Jack, are you fucking with me? You know that we hit an all-time high on Thursday of last week, right? We're not at an all, but we are. We literally just have been hitting it and hitting it and hitting it. Sometimes I think you guys say things just to piss me off on purpose. Just to piss me off. Yeah, that's not looking so good. The 30-minute is now bearish on both ES and on NQ. Seems like the situation might be resolving in the bears' favor. But I'm saying all of this pretty hesitantly because in an hour and a half, not even, we're going to have news. And who knows what that news is going to be. I don't think, well, I know the price right now is not indicative of what this announcement's going to be. So, like, I guess if you are doing a trade, just very much respect your risk here because you just don't know where the rest of the day is going to go. Max 7's pretty flat. SPY is choppy. We are at support, but we've had lower highs. Excuse me, I'm in my coffee today. And that's because I'm out of coffee. I am once again my own worst enemy. Looks like the point of control, the volume point of control right here is 6253. That's where most of the volume is. So pay attention to that. Value area. Oh, I see what it's doing. It's counting 70%. So you know if you're... Extend point of control right. Value area high. What's that do? What the fuck? What do these do? Oh, you could even add in... Oh. That's cool. I didn't know you could customize it like that. Good to know. Good to know for all my horizontal volume profile traders in here. Looks like we are, which has to be pretty much the opening. Yeah, it's slightly below the opening value. 6254. Dude, I do need, and I'm out of Celsius. I'm out of it. Yawning is contagious. Just like herpes. Interesting that you guys felt the need to bring that up twice today. Is there something you guys want to tell the class? Seems like you really, really are trying to talk about herpes. Yeah, definitely downtrending. But not like there's just not much going on right now. Not a whole heck of a lot. Everyone's awkwardly waiting for noon. Get your life together. I've been trying. Cluely spending $15 million for Series A funding to create 10,000 TikTok accounts. There is no client list. There's no client list anymore. I can't believe they kind of gaslit us on that one. July 12th. We are excited to announce the 5th annual Trader Line Conference will span the 12th to the 27th. Holy cow. That's a long conference. It must be online. Here's another one. Since 1990, the S&P 500 has made 738 new all-time highs. Future returns are actually stronger than at any time returns. Many are scared of heights, but history says you shouldn't be. That's crazy. I would have never, ever guessed this. That's insane. Someone bought 1.7 mil worth of Tesla 325 calls this morning, bullish on America Party. For what expiration? July 25th. Breath is building, not breaking. 53.8% of S&P 500 stocks are in confirmed uptrends, the highest since December. Just 14.1% are in downtrends, the lowest since October. The weakest names are disappearing. Participation is expanding. Dude, I was already bullish for like the next month or so, but all the information that we're coming out today, it's really, really convincing me. Like, really convincing me. Some of these stats are just fucking blowing my mind, man. Blowing my mind. There is one thing that we should chit-chat about. And that chit-chat. Oh, the big guys are net selling today. Well, that doesn't necessarily make me feel the best. The big guys are selling. Why are they selling? Riddle me that, Batman. Riddle me that. You know that there's an airborne chlamydia pneumonia too? Come on, man. You're just giving me nightmare fuel at this point. Airborne chlamydia pneumonia. Dude, please tell me you're just making that up. That feels excessive. That feels really, really excessive. Hey, pal, I just tuned in as well. Did you make some tendies? Yes. I will also be going to Texas Roadhouse for the first time this week. Congratulations. What are the must-haves? I would say the half rack of ribs, dude. Well, the buns are like the must-have, but I like to go with the half rack of ribs. That's my favorite meal there. And then you could choose to have whatever sides make your heart sing. News Trump stats in the current trading world. Airborne spiders. What? Please don't tell me that's a thing. I'm very hesitant to be bullish. Why? Why would you be hesitant? The market, the generic trend of the market is up. That should be like your like on any medium to longer term outlook, your base case should be bullish. That's what all the odds of the market suggest, is you should start off bullish, and like you should take a lot of convincing to be neutral or bearish. Like that's just the general skew of the market, is be bullish. That's like your starting point. Pretty much on any given day, you should be like, yep, bullish today, convince me otherwise. I'm very hesitant to sleep with his wife. Well, that's just caring of you. I think you should be hesitant of sleeping with other people's wives. What? Coin is on the way back up. That's awesome. Some people always think the market is going to crash. Yeah, that's what like all these doomsday people do. They're like, crash, crash, crash. Like, it's going to crash. And then if you say it long enough, you're eventually going to be right. Like if every single day I say the market's going to crash, eventually at some point in the future, I'm going to be right. And I'll be like, told you guys. I told you guys. I just knew it. I just knew it, guys. But it's not really like useful, you know? Like you got to have some form of time with it. Without a time aspect to those types of predictions, like literally, what is the utility whatsoever? But they want you to be bullish. They know you're bullish. Ergo, you should do some horns on your head. What? What? You guys are taking crazy pills over the weekend. There's a bunch of crazies in chat today. A bunch of freaking crazies. Yeah, that's not so good. Ooh, that's not so good. In the short term, the bulls have some work to do here. The bulls have some work to do here for sure. Bearish, 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 bearish. But we're not really capitulating. Like Mag 7 is just flat. NASDAQ is just flat. SPY, as of now. Generally, when I see days like this, I would say, hey, it's just a nothing day. It's a bust day, like time to go and move on. But knowing that we had this announcement at noon, I'm more so interpreting this to say that the market is waiting to see what these announcements are. And it makes sense. Like if you were running a big fund or something like that, would you really be trading right now before the announcement? Probably not. Matt, do you have XRP? No, I don't. I just don't think it's a high probability play. Obviously, nothing is definitively known, so I can't sit here and be like, yo, I know it's going to crash, or I know it's going to blow up and be amazing. But in terms like the market really is just like a scale of probabilities. And I think XRP has very low probability of being successful. I also just inherently I don't even think people who buy XRP understand their own investment thesis. Like, generally, it's along the lines of, it's gonna be the future of currency conversion. And if it is that, why does that make XRP an investment then? Like, if something is good at converting currencies, by definition, it is cheap, its price is stable, and it's like super, super liquid. And XRP, it is fast. I'll give them that. It could be diluted at any second. Massive lack of security. And even if we didn't worry about those issues, you inherently don't want the medium of which you're converting in to be changing that much in price. You actually want it to be as stable as possible. So I don't even think the average person in XRP understands why they like XRP. I think if they were just a little bit more honest and be like, yeah, no, I view it as like a strong cult-like community that has meme status, and I've seen memes in the past take off, and if your argument is that it has such a strong community, you think like if meme coins ever become a thing again, that this will be like a leading one. I would actually respect that investment thesis more than it's going to go up because it's going to be used in currency conversions. I just don't understand it. Lou versus Wall Street loved XRP. Yeah, he's also fucking retarded, so there's that. It's a cult. Of course it's a cult. It's not even like one of the good, like, fun cults. It's just like, whatever, a digital internet community of trolls. And we've seen it before. I've lived through it before. I saw it with AMC. I saw it with GameStop, with Doge, with Shiba. There's nothing new under the sun. I don't think it's like, it doesn't even stand out to me as like that special of like some hardcore internet community. That's what it is. It's a hardcore internet community that, despite all measurable facts, they're just going to sit there. It's like their ride or die. And what's fascinating about it, and this isn't necessarily specific to XRP, it does apply to XRP, but you could see this with any of these, is there's no like room for conversation. It's people who've already made up their mind. They take in no information. They're not definitely measuring any new information whatsoever. They've already made up their mind. And if there's information to the contrary of their investment or their trade, it just actually causes them to dig their heels in even more. They're not being objective of the situation. Like, literally, their mind is made up. They put their money in it, and they're not going to change it. And so it's kind of crazy. It makes it not fun to have conversations about, because there's really no conversation. But from a content creator standpoint, because it does have such a large, ravenous community, it is easy money in terms of content. Easy money in terms of content. There's a lot of people who kind of came up in the same era that I did. And then when the world opened back up, no more stimulus checks, all finance views like started to take a bit of a hit, just like no one in the world of finance is as popular as they were. But then people realized like the next, I don't know, golden goose was XRP. I mean, there are so many content creators who way back in the day were doing whatever, options, stocks, this or that. And now it's just how many XRP videos can they pump out a day? And they do it because there's a financial feedback, because you get more and more views and you get more and more views. So it gets more and more people who like that. So then they have even higher expectations to just have that type of content shoved down their throat. But it would take 5 seconds of research for you to figure out that a lot of the finance content creators that you saw in 2020, 2021, and 2022, we cracked right there. It's just now XRP 100% of the time. Like, just XRP. And what's crazy about it is, like, I've spoken with some of these guys privately. None of them actually give a shit about XRP. They're just playing the YouTube algorithm game. Like, this isn't like conjecture, like literally speaking with them. They're like, yeah, no, it's the only thing that gives me views. So they just talk about the only thing that gets them views. So they're kind of like in this like purgatory of sorts. But you said YouTube does not pay you that much for views. It doesn't pay me that much for views. Other people get paid quite a bit for views. Like, you just have to follow their guidelines and whatnot. I also gave like a full-fledged example. That's what's so weird is like, okay, like I explained why I don't get that much on YouTube because I like commonly get DMCA'd and you get less for live streaming than you do for video uploads. And like, I gave it like a lot of nuanced insights to that. And that was your takeaway? Your takeaway is you're saying you just like generically think no one makes money off of YouTube. Whatever is going on in society or maybe our education system, has anyone else realized that like just no one has like second order thinking? No one has like this capacity for keeping in like very important details. Like the internet is just a fucking cesspool of a lot of the times just lies or it's half truths, and it's just like literally like superficial level takeaways such as that one. It's so fascinating. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm optimistic enough to believe that many people do have those capabilities of second order thinking, of considering details, and maybe it's just the internet's not a good medium for it. And maybe in their real life, when they talk and they converse and they make financial decisions, life decisions, family decisions, things like that, I pray that it's just the internet. We all behave a little bit differently rather than in like real life, because like if the lack of second order thinking or appreciations for nuances, if the world were truly the way the internet reflects it, I feel like we would be in like a lot worse of a situation. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong to assume that people in their own actual life are a bit different. But it does feel like there's some certain aspects of like the internet being brain rot, as someone in chat just said. There's no critical thought anymore. It feels it. It feels it. It feels it. It feels it. Everyone is a gotcha journalist in YouTube comments. I mean, you see that all of the time, though. It's not even just YouTube content. Like Instagram comments, TikTok comments, tweets. It's just we're all in this game of like gotcha, and like you just do it. And, like no one's putting shit out there for like answers or to converse. It's just those fucking dopamine hits of like you develop some sort of internet brand, and you're like, can I put something out there that is going to elicit a response that I want? And most of the time, the response that you're looking for is either likes or comments or upvotes, like depending on the medium of the internet platform that you're on at that moment. But it just seems like such a lack of a genuine interaction. It's like exclusively like you're gaming whatever that social media platform is, and like we're all just like getting wired to like, no, you get dopamine when you see those numbers go up. It's not like honest interaction. As a new trader learning everything I can, I enjoy learning from you and Jay Bravo. Looking forward to AI and seeing how to improve my portfolio. I have no fucking clue who Jay Bravo is. Don't know if he's good. Don't know if he's bad, but I do appreciate the kind words. I do appreciate the kind words. Dialectical materialism, the internal science of Marxism and the path to the future. Well, Karl Marx was a piece of shit, so I'm not at all interested in that. From what I have seen, many people just have more long-winded, empty conversations. Long-winded? I feel like social media is pushing us the other way, where it's a lot of short stuff. A lot of Johnny Bravo, the cartoon. Oh, that's who you're learning your stocks from. That's awesome. Big fan. Tarot card to get a heads up on the tariff announcement. I could give you guys that before we head out for the day. I could give you guys a prediction of how the tariff announcement's going to go in about an hour. We could turn it over to the dark arts of the tarot cards. It's at this point in the show that the Rumble chat gets so incredibly spun up. So incredibly spun up. Right there. Wyoming Upland Outfitters. First thing, fuck tarot. It's the dark arts, dude. It is the dark. Thumbs down when you pull that shit out. Well, the Supreme Lord, Satan, will punish you for that. We are dipping into the super secretive world of the dark arts. Wyoming Outfitters, when you hit that, just know you're going to be battling it out with Satan today. He's going to come knocking on your door. You're going to have to take it up with the red horned one, not just me. Witches get stitches. Oh, jeez. Hail Satan. Dude, this is going to spin Rumble up so bad. So bad. Dude, they're going to lose their mind. All right. We're dabbling in the world of the dark arts. A little Avada Kedavra coming your way, folks. 3, 2, 1. Oh, well, now we got to redo that. That was horrible. 3, 2, 1. All right. Abracadabra, Alakazam, Avada Kedavra, Harry Potter, Hermione Granger, Snape, Dumbledore. Whoa. We've pulled this one before. Feels like it's a good one. Temperance. You know, 2 golden goblets, little LGBT rainbow there. Nice regal looking cat with 2 different color eyes. Nice sunny day. Paw slightly ajar and in water. Dude, that has to be good. Has to be good. So you heard it here. We are going to make a full recovery to a new all-time high. That is financial advice. Take that to the bank. Obviously, I'm being facetious. Don't sue me. It's a joke. If you're not smart enough to understand that's a joke, this show's not for you. British occultists are more into it. That was literally actually going to be the name of this show, British Occultists, but instead we named it the Matt Kohrs Show. But that was the other name we were considering, British Occultists. Apparently people have the attention span of a goldfish because of things like TikTok, so that's fun. You just got to toss some fish food out your window and believe it's good. Fun fact. This is a good one. Fun fact. Even if you don't believe in magic, it believes in you. Oh, that's a good one to end this on. Folks, if you haven't already, do me a favor. Sign up for Public. It is free to download, free to sign up. Use that link pinned to the top of chat. Start earning those option rebates today. If you're a trader, aspiring trader, this, in my humble opinion, is the best place for you to be. Shout out to Public. I would appreciate it. Like I said, free to download. Use that link pinned at the top of chat because you're going to start off at a higher rebate tier. So a little bit of a bonus for you there. Folks, that's what I have for you right now. Remember, in under 1 hour, we're going to be getting an update from Trump or maybe the team about trades and trade deals, their lack thereof, whatever it is going to be. Pay attention to that because it might just cause a little bit of craziness in the market. We will be posting an update video later today after the market closes, and then we're going to be streaming once again tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. bright and early. So I hope you check out those market breakdown videos, and if not, I will catch you in the show tomorrow. I hope you make a shitload of money. I appreciate all the good vibes. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.